Hey, all right. So I'm going to be quick today because I have to bring my dog to the vet. It's an impromptu vet appointment. I'm not thrilled about it, but such is life. And my day is such that if I don't come live quickly now, I will not do it. So I actually had something else prepared for you guys today, but I'm going to do this because this is a topic that comes up over and over with my clients, and it's easy for me to talk about. So today we're talking about creating content with ease and how, like, a lot of my clients come to me and say, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to write. I don't know how to create content that's going to impact people or want them to actually want to work with me. And a lot of us have this idea that the content we create has to be amazing. What for me is important is that the content you create has to be alive. It's got to be real in the moment, it's got to be true, and it's got to be something that your clients or people you're talking to are talking about. And so this is what I do. So I'm going to give you my process. Of course, I have a content vault. What that means is that whenever I create a piece of content, it automatically goes in a vault by category so that if I'm stuck one day, I have an easy list of content that I've created that I can rewrite a little bit, I can tweak, and I can post again. And that's okay to do that because your people, literally, especially right now on Facebook, reaches so little that people are going to see, one out of 7, 8, 10 things that you post, and people need repetition to learn it. So you can say the same thing in slightly different way, and that's okay. But in terms of having ideas to create content, what I do is I use my everyday life, and this is a practice. So this, as I work with healers, I work with holistic wellness practitioners, transformational coaches, life coaches, that kind of stuff. So all of us are working with people, we're having conversations with people, and we're also consuming information. All of us are the kind of people who love to learn, love to expand, love to learn more. And so we're always, you know, watching some kind of summit, reading a book, in a challenge of some sort. I think there's a shift that needs to happen in our way of thinking where we literally need to go from consumer to creator. And that took a little while for that to happen for me. But essentially, I started paying attention to whenever I was reading a book, whenever I was watching a video or some kind of training or some kind of master class, whenever I was watching somebody else's live, my automatic question was there something in there that I could tweak or I could share? And you can give people credit. But for me, it's like if something lights you up, there's a good chance that it's going to light up your audience. So if you're reading a book and you get a light bulb moment, share that light bulb moment. If you are watching somebody's interview or listening to a podcast or in a challenge and somebody says something that is a slightly different way or different perspective and it impacts you, share that impact. You can tell your audience where you got that from. You can tell them that's what you're playing with right now, whatever it may be. And the last thing I will say, and this is something for those of you who don't have a lot of clients, you can't quite rely on that as much. But I've been seeing clients for 20 years. So something I do at the end of each session is I kind of replay the session in my mind and ask myself, is there something that happened in this session that would benefit others if I shared? I don't share the particular of the session, but if, for example, this live is a conversation I had yesterday with a client. A client yesterday said to me, I want to post, but I don't know how to post. I don't get any ideas. I kind of freeze up. And we had an entire conversation as to where she could gather content, where she could gather inspiration, where she could gather information. And this is somebody who works with clients already, who's a life coach. And one of the things I shared with her is at the end of every single session, every single conversation is a topic. Like I could use our conversation and create content. So when you're working with someone, at the end of the session, write a few notes, or even during the session, write a few key things that you can share then as content. It's the easiest. All of us feel like we don't have anything to say. The problem is we are filled with wisdom, but we don't have anything to pull it out of us, which is why we love conversation, because conversations, the wisdom flows out of us with ease. And so what I would say is use these conversations to see what kind of wisdom came out of that, and then share that wisdom in some kind of post, in a live like I'm doing, or create a video that day about what you shared with a client that you think would benefit others. And when you start doing that, when you start looking at every interaction, that the content they create needs to be completely new. Well, I've got news for you. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing that I'm sharing with you that somebody else hasn't shared before and somebody else will not share later. Like for most of us, we're just sharing already existing knowledge, things that we've gone from books, things that we've gone from our own mentors, things that we've gone from our own life experience. We're just tweaking it and putting our own energy, our own spin on it, and sharing it from that perspective. People do not buy information. They can go on YouTube for information. People buy the energy of the person. So if you say something to someone that you just heard from someone else, but you say it in your own way, with your own example, your own story around it, and suddenly somebody says, oh, wow, I've heard this before, but it's never made sense in that way, or I love the way this person said it, that's your person. So even though they might have heard it from other people and not been captured, they heard it from you and they were captured. And when I say captured, I mean captivated. They were captivated, they understood, they had a breakthrough, not because of exactly what you're sharing, but because suddenly you made something that felt difficult or weird make sense. So don't think you have to create things from out of nowhere. Just know that every single event in your life, every interaction is a piece of content. And content comes from curiosity. If you ask yourself after every conversation you have, after every um, chapter that you read in a book, after every podcast you listen to, or every interview or live that you listen to from someone, hey, what did I learn here that was kind of a big idea that I could share? Or what came up here that my audience would be interested in? You might end up with 3-4 pieces of content a day. Now, you're not going to use all of them, but for me, that's the way I do it. I always ask myself, what's the big idea? And then the last thing I will leave you with is sometimes I do it at the end of the night. Like if I had a crazy day, I might at the end of the night, like on my phone or on a journal, say like, what were some big ideas of the day? And I'll run through my day. I'll think of the podcast I listened to on my break. I think of the 3-4 clients I worked with. I think of the book I'm reading now. And just like what's still alive with me now. If at the end of the day, certain things still pop back up in your mind and are alive with you, then that feels to me, that means that they lit up something within you and that they are valuable content for you to share. That there's something in there that you can put in with your own spin and share with your audience. So that's how I create content. And essentially content is not an issue for me. Now I have a process like, this kind of content and this kind of content. And I teach that to my client, like the 6 kind of content you want to have to build that know, like, trust, and for people to like raise their hand and want to buy, want to buy or want to work or want to have a conversation with you. But in terms of creating content, that's what I do. I use my life and I become a creator rather than just a consumer. And everything I take in or have an interaction with becomes the foundation for a piece of content, which means that, even if I don't know what I'm going to write tomorrow, there's probably going to be something that's going to happen today. There's going to be some conversation I'm going to have today. There's going to be some piece of a chapter I'm going to read in a book I'm enjoying right now, or an interview I'm going to watch. Like I'm watching a summit right now, the Profitable Coach Summit or something like that. I guarantee you, if I have time in between clients, I'm going to do 15 minutes. There's going to be something in there that I can use as my big idea for tomorrow. I already have something I want to use for tomorrow, but that's okay. I can still write it down, and that will be my big idea for the day I don't have a big idea. So every day, and that might be your practice, every day you come up with one piece of content that is related to something that happened today or something that happened yesterday. If you wait, it goes away. You have to write it, you have to put it down while it's fresh. All right, that's it. I'm on my way to the vet. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. And say hi to me. You know, if you're watching this, say hi to me. By the way, I think I would be remiss if I didn't do this, but I'm starting a brand new group. It's for healers, it's for coaches, it's for wellness practitioners or holistic practitioners, really soulful service-based entrepreneurs. And the whole point of the group is getting booked out without burnout, filling our programs, filling our offers, and doing that from a place that doesn't include any crazy marketing or yucky marketing, without having to do any big launches or draining launches, without having to spend your day on social media, without having to do ads. Essentially, it's my client overflow process that I will teach, so that people can bring in client with ease months after months after months and never have to worry about how to fill their programs. If that feels like something that could be interesting to you, then just put clients in the comments or send me a message on Messenger and I will give you all the details. And right now it's founding members rates. So it's going to be a small, intimate group. It's going to be financially affordable, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited to get that started. So if that feels like something you could benefit from, then put just clients in the comments or you message me and I'll send you all the details. All right, have a wonderful week. I'll see you tomorrow.